Hey, good evening and welcome to Open House for AP Statistics. I am Mr. Shesman. I am the host of this open house and the teacher of AP Statistics here at Fort LaBeouf High School. My email is shesmana@flbapps.net. That's a great way to get in touch with me, and I will respond to you within 24 hours. If it's a weekday, if it's over a weekend, I'll get back to you on Monday. So what I want to do in this virtual open house is kind of walk through the course, what we're doing, how we grade, and what our goals are. So with that, let's take a look at the major topics in AP statistics. Our major topics include exploring and modeling the distribution of data. In other words, we've got some data. What do we have? How do we show what we've got? We are right now in the midst of describing relationships. We have two variables. How are these two variables related? We're soon going to be starting a unit on designing studies. Very relevant in an election year. Designing studies, very relevant in a non-election year when we might be interested in studying how anything works. We might be interested in studying how does a new medicine work? How does this new studying method work? How does this new textbook cause students to do? That's how would we design a study that can accurately and reliably test those relationships? Then we're going to get to probability and random variables. We're going to talk about sampling. And then finally down here, these final two bullet points, confidence and testing and comparing populations. This is kind of the holy grail of AP stats. But we're going to get to the end. We're going to start being able to make conclusions. We're going to be able to look at some data that was collected from a good, well-designed study. And we're going to be able to say, essentially, does this convince us of something? Does this convince us enough to make a given conclusion? Okay, and that's kind of where we're going. Is this holy grail at the end of the course is to be able to make really good conclusions, consistent conclusions. Our approach to statistics is going to be to experience before formalizing. That's why we're going to do projects and demonstrations in class. In fact, the very first day of instruction, we didn't start by getting out a packet of notes. We started by doing a 45-minute demonstration. Just a couple weeks ago, students did another unit, and they started how? By doing a project, by actually seeing the data first, and then we'll formalize. We'll talk about, okay, this is how we did this generally. Let's be more specific. What language do we use to describe what we just did? This statistics class that we're taking is a verbal math class. There's a lot of focus on explaining and interpreting what we see. It's not just a plug and chug. The calculator can do most of that for us, and I will teach your child how to use the graphing calculator that they get from us. But because the calculator can do it, you don't get a lot of credit for the calculator work. Where you get credit is on explaining and interpreting. This class, more than just about any other math class at the high school level, is all about analyzing and thinking, which makes it a challenge, makes it fun, and it makes us think in ways that maybe we haven't in previous math classes. In this class, tests make up a huge portion of the grade. All the all the AP classes in the math department, tests are rated 65%. I will give test reviews in class the period or 2 periods before. I post the answers to those on Google Classroom so that your student can check them out ahead of time on their own. We'll review in class, and they're going to be announced ahead of time. In-class work makes up 25% of the grade. That might be from the projects or the demos that we do, quick quizzes that I give, things along that line. It makes up about 25% of the grade. And then homework is the final 10% of the grade. I give homework about 3 or 4, maybe 5 days a week if it's a bad week for your kid, but mostly 3 or 4. Usually I check it for completion and effort, but I may collect it for accuracy checks periodically, and I announce that ahead of time. I don't generally say, like, hey, I'm giving you homework on Tuesday, you're turning it on Wednesday, and I'm grading it for accuracy. That's not fair, because homework is about practicing, and sometimes when we practice, we make a mistake. So if I'm going to collect homework for accuracy, I'm going to give your student a chance to come in and say, wait, before we turn this in, maybe later in the week, I wasn't sure on question 33. Can you go over that for me? And then I'm happy to do that for them. So accuracy checks, if they occur, will be a couple of days after the homework was assigned. Generally, if homework was checked for completion and effort and it wasn't done, it can be turned in late the next class for some partial credit. The goal of homework is to really practice what we're doing in class, is to get comfortable doing and analyzing and explaining stuff so that the first time we're doing it is not on the test. Now, some big ideas this year for us include attendance. Being in class as much as possible is so important. Your student might have mentioned that we go about 90 minutes long every period. We don't take, we don't end 20 minutes early and start homework in this class. Okay, we generally are going from when we start until when we end. And the goal or the reason for that is because there's just a lot of material for us to get through. So if you miss a day, you're missing 80 minutes of instruction, of communication, of working with other people. Now, absences will occur, especially this year of all years. And when that happens, you can still choose to have good attendance by making sure that you're copying the notes that are on Google Classroom, by getting the makeup work and doing it and turning it in. If you're missing an extended period of time, being in communication with me so that I can provide as much material and resources as I can to make sure that you're learning what you need to learn. Another big idea this year is we want to develop critical thinking skills. We want to be able to look at a set of data and we want to be able to say, does this convince us to make a conclusion? We want to be able to look at somebody else's study and say, that was not well designed, so your results are flawed. We want to be able to be the type of person that doesn't have to just accept what we're told, but can think through it for ourselves and draw our own conclusions. And finally, a big idea for this course is preparing for the AP test. I highly recommend that the students take the AP test in May. We will prepare for that. Now, because we end at the end of January and the AP test is not till May, that does present a challenge. But anybody who wants to take the AP test, I will work with them providing review material that they can do. Usually we start at about the first or second week of April. And it gives them a chance to practice, to review the stuff that's going to be on the AP test so that they can do very well. I've had many students who have taken the AP test in the spring after taking the class in the fall, and it has not affected their scores. They've been able to be very effective on the test. So with that, if you have any questions about anything that you heard here or any class policies, please feel free to reach out to me, send me an email, and I'll be happy to get in touch with you. If I had to leave with any messages, make sure that your student is on Google Classroom, that they're checking it regularly. And if for any reason we have to go online only for a period of time, that's going to be the place where they're going to get their instruction. Thanks for watching. Have a great night.